Hello and welcome to our channel. We're ADStudios and today we're going to be looking at Assetto Corsa, the latest racing simulator to enter the market. Now we've already set up one of the cars, which is the McLaren MP4-12C GT3, and we've set it up in the pits at Silverstone. What we're going to do is just take it for a drive, and while we're doing that we're going to talk about the visuals, the sounds, the effects, the physics, generally everything that makes a simulator, and we'll talk about whether this is actually worth your time. So, without further ado, let's get us into the cockpit and on our way.
So, Assetto Corsa, what is it? What does it mean? Well, it means race setup, and doesn't really sound appealing to you, does it?
Not in English anyway.
I mean, yeah, so it's in Thailand, it does sound great. Assetto Corsa is a driving simulator and it was released in 2013. We're currently on version 0.911 with the multiplayer just being released. There's not much activity going on at the moment. I mean, we did try going onto it yesterday. There's no servers or anything available at the moment. So I
think in the next month or so the multiplayer will be a massive feature of it. Like you said, 0.9.11. We're getting closer and closer to the actual main release of the game.
With career mode.
Possibly the end of the year, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And so I mean, in terms of the game itself, it's fantastic. I mean, I would say it is comparable to iRacing, especially with the multiplayer now being released. And iRacing is known for the multiplayer, and obviously it's a real-life simulation. Right, in terms of this car, the MP4-12C GT3, very long name.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the engine and the sounds that you can hear in the game. So first of all, with the car, I think you can obviously hear the V8 turbocharged engine.
I've never heard actual V8. Well, I've heard the V8 engine, but not the V8 engine for this
like
car,
this,
so I can't really compare it. But I'm assuming they've done a lot of research, and they've obviously got it to as close as they can, or probably the same as to what it is.
I've heard this engine in real life.
Ah, okay.
I haven't heard the inside view, the in-car view, but I have heard that view.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say that the engine isn't completely accurate, but it's fairly close. I mean, there's always going to be a few niggles here and there as you go through the rev ranges. You can't get it perfect, but it's fairly accurate, and I think they've done a really good job. Much better than a lot of games. We all know Gran Turismo 6 on the PlayStation 3 is known for its vacuum cleaner sounds, where every car just sounds like a Dyson.
Yeah.
I think that this definitely sounds like a V8 turbocharged engine, and they have to get props for that, even if it's not exactly as the McLaren should sound.
Yeah, and obviously, as you can see when you just downshift, you can just hear the backfire. It's absolutely amazing. You can even hear the turbo whistle, and
I mean, even that sort of the looks of it. That'll get me driving in this game.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, it's all about the visual feel as well.
Yeah.
That's the thing about simulators. You need to have that visual feel, the sound. You have to actually have it so that you are sitting in a real car.
Yeah.
And obviously, this simulator does represent it really well.
Yeah. I mean, if you go back into the car, I mean, you sort of just have a look at, what's inside. I mean, the steering wheel. Again, I'm not seeing a real life steering wheel for this car, but it does look pretty impressive.
Yeah, definitely.
With all, the carbon fiber and the actual dial itself, it's good. I mean, if you go outside now, have a look at the surroundings, the trees and the track itself.
Skybox.
The skybox. Yeah, I mean.
I think there's one thing where the skybox was introduced in 0.8. And there wasn't much clouds introduced. There was no clouds actually before then until 0.8. And obviously the clouds have made a significant difference. Although it has affected the frame rate a little bit. And whoops, that wasn't very good.
So I'll spin it.
Nice.
I mean, in terms of the track itself, what was it? What did they say? They've got it as close as they can to the actual real track.
Yeah, I think it's a 1-to-1 ratio.
Yeah.
It's laser scanned.
Exactly. It's done a good job of replicating that.
How many tracks have they got in the game?
They've got a fair few. just in one of the latest updates, they added the Nürburgring GP track, but they've also got tracks such as Monza, Silverstone, which is where we're at. We've got Mugello. We've got the odd track here and there. Some tracks that we haven't really heard of.
Yeah.
You know, the tracks around Italy, Italian tracks being an Italian company.
Yeah.
They're gonna have Italian tracks a little bit more, but they are adding more and more tracks. I mean, the Nürburgring Nordschleife is set to be released as DLC after the full version of this game is released, and when the full version of this game is released, we are looking at getting a Spa-Francorchamps. So I'm looking forward to racing up El Rouge in that.
That'd be great, yeah.
Do they have the Nürburgring, the big one?
That's the Nordschleife, and that'll be coming in as DLC later. They have been laser scanning that, but as you can imagine, with over 150 corners, it's going to take a while.
I think that's going to be the most popular track, I think.
Without a doubt.
Right, so obviously we're talking about the car sounds. Let's go on to the environment sounds now, shall we? Let's talk about rumble strip when you go over that.
You're not
you never heard that, obviously.
You hear it in this view, probably.
Yeah, there you go. You can also see that it affects the force feedback on the Logitech G27 wheel that we have. So obviously that actually replicates it very well. The crowd, is there any crowd?
There is a crowd.
There's
very small.
They're littered around. This isn't a race, so they're littered around. You can see some of in that.
I think the race mode is a fair mute, but I think they kept that to a minimum. I think the noise.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about the driving experience.
Yeah.
It's not really much on the crowd. And about the road surface itself, obviously you're driving the car, so how does it feel? And the sounds and stuff as well, actually.
Well, for me, driving one of these, it feels. That's where I went off. It feels quite nice. The road surface is like, I've actually walked the Silverstone track. I've been to Silverstone only last year, and that bit of tarmac that's been patched up, just what we passed, that is actually there. They did actually have to patch that bit of tarmac up. So that's actually there. I like this racing line, which is actually a dynamic racing line. So when you're actually in a race, the more people race on a specific line, the more rubber actually builds up on that line, which means that line then has more grip, which I find quite impressive.
But they've done quite a lot of research then into that.
They've done a lot of research into it, and you can feel it, because when you go off to the sides, for example, on this green strip right here, you go off there and you try and turn your wheel and the car just slides.
Yeah.
While on the track you've got grip, and while on the racing line you have even more grip. So they have done the research there, and it really, really feels good. One thing I did notice though was, and there we go, sliding, spinning onto the grass. Actually, this might be a good time to.
So one of the dirt effects.
Yeah, if I can bring up some. Let's do a bit of spinning around. See if we can bring up any dirt.
As you can see, the car is very shiny at the moment. Let's just see have they introduced dirt effects on.
We can see it coming up at the back now.
Yeah, you can just on the left.
Alright, let's have a look.
That's impressive.
Let's check the front, shall we? The front splitter.
Yeah.
Split dirt, I'm probably facing the wrong way for it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh.
Definitely got dirt effects on this. I think that it's nice that they haven't sort of gone overboard with the dirt effects.
What about damage? Is that something that they're working on, or
mechanical damage? I found when I was trying this game earlier, I've done quite a few hours on this game now. There was mechanical damage on the game, so you can blow your engine, your gearbox, things like that. Visual damage, there is an option for it, but when I clicked it, it didn't actually do anything.
Yeah.
So I'm presuming that's something that they haven't yet implemented, but the fact that they've got the option for it does mean that it's in the pipeline.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's good.
Ah, there we go. Now the car's getting properly dirty. Right. Note to self. Let's try and get myself back onto the track. There we go. Take a look at that now.
Yeah.
That's probably.
I think the dirt effects are actually limited, aren't they? So they won't get more than that.
I don't think you're going to get much more dirt than that. But the thing is, there is dirt there. It gives the car a feel of you're actually taking out on the race. And I tell you what, if you have a look at this picture of the car before, while it's in the pits, and now if we switch to a picture of the car afterwards, after we've taken it out for a couple of laps, You can see the difference there immediately.
Yeah, definitely.
So you can see there's a massive difference there, and it really sort of brings the simulator to life. All these little effects,
Yeah.
and I really like it.
I mean,
yeah.
another good thing about this game is the apps, and there's quite a few of them.
Yeah, as you can see, we've got 4 apps to play.
Yeah,
No, 5.
Five, yeah.
That's correct. So I'm guessing the one on the top right corner, session ranking, that displays all these your stats.
Sector times,
Yeah,
compares
exactly.
them, and then
And then you got the one on the bottom right corner, which is obviously the gear shifter. And you got the orange bar that displays the turbo, and obviously your miles per hour. So can you just describe the left one, right at the bottom?
well, we
blue
got a map there, and then right at the bottom left hand corner we've got the brake, accelerator,
And force feedback.
yeah, force
And
feedback.
also the blue one's the clutch one.
Clutch one, that's it. And then the top left, we've got the time. Obviously that looks like estimating and finishing.
Yeah, that's my performance delta.
Yeah.
When
That's
you're
right.
hot lapping, it's I use that for hot lapping, so that obviously this lap with the spinning around, I'm quite slow on it. But
Yeah.
if I do a couple of hot laps, you'll see that I'll be trying to get down maybe 0.2 of a second, something like that.
That's right.
It's quite a neat feature because I mean, if people start giving feedback and saying, "Oh, they want this during the race," they can add it in. And if people don't like that feature, they don't have to have it. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So for
exactly.
example,
you know,
I'm not really using this one.
Yeah.
I can just press the Assetto Corsa logo right there,
Yeah.
switch it off, it's gone.
Exactly.
Job done. Doesn't interfere with anything I'm doing. Helps the immersion,
Yeah.
and it's generally quite nice.
Yeah, you basically just create your own custom racing feel.
Yeah, I think one of the main apps that are used by nearly everyone in every racing game is the maps. And obviously you can see the road trackers there, displayed at the bottom left corner. Obviously it's replicated well, you can even turn that off if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But I
I'll
mean,
switch
yeah.
it off, 'cause I don't need
Yeah.
the map, knows this track really well. But yeah, I mean, you can actually move them around wherever you want. For example, if you did want the map directly in the middle of your screen, all you have to do, if you don't have a map, is go over to this right hand side and you can switch on whatever you want. So if I switch on the track map, and then I can just drag it into the middle of the screen, and there it is, obscuring my vision.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Right,
Obviously, I don't like that, so I'll get rid of that again.
Right, so I was wondering, could you actually show the the audience when you go on the gravel what happens and when you come back onto the track?
Yeah, let's take it out into the gravel, if I can find a bit of gravel. There should be some gravel down at Beckett's, which should be a couple of turns away from now. There should be some gravel
too far.
on this hand
No,
side.
there
There
we
we go.
go.
Through Magnets and into Beckett's is some gravel. And there's
Well, there you go. You can actually hear
Yeah.
the gravel stuck onto the tires. I mean, that's impressive. And also when you just drive off slowly, you can actually hear it just coming off. That's a great thing.
there's some more gravel down that Stowe down there, so I'll take it into the gravel properly. It will be quite a fair amount.
Yeah.
Now the feedback there, you can hear the feedback on the wheel as I'm bouncing across. There you go.
Hey, let's talk about the force feedback as well whilst you're at it.
Well, force feedback it's an arbitrary thing really, because different people like force feedback in different ways. Assetto Corsa generally has very good force feedback. We're using the Logitech G27 wheel, which is one of the most popular steering wheels around. But it does have setups for the G25, the Fanatic CSR2, the Thrustmaster T500. It has all these setups for all the popular wheels, and of course the force feedback can then be set up accordingly. Now if you notice that in the pedal box app, which is down in the bottom left hand corner that we mentioned, you'll see that the grey bar, as I'm looking down at that app and not looking at the corner, you can see that the grey bar actually changes and clips into the red as it goes right to the top. Now what that means is that the actual force feedback is clipping in a sense, but I've got it set up so that the wheel feels quite weighty. So as I go around the corner, it does feel like I have to work to turn the wheel. So you'll notice it go right up to the red, but it won't actually stay in the red. It'll just sort of bounce off. And if that's the kind of force feedback you want, Assetto Corsa lets you do that. If you want really light force feedback, you're allowed to do that as well. in the options menu, you can actually select the curb effects, the slip effects, the feel of the road. All that's actually individually customizable, and I think that's quite nice because it allows each player to be comfortable with what they're actually doing, and that's very important in a simulator.
That's right, exactly.
Right, so we've covered the force feedback, we've covered the sound, the handling, the menu system, the visuals. I think it's time we went to our conclusion. So, what do you guys think?
Right, I've been comparing this game to Gran Turismo. I'm a massive fan of Gran Turismo, but I tell you what, this simulator beats it hands down. Handling, looks, the feel, there's no comparison. Assetto Corsa wins, and I'll tell you what, I'll be playing this game for a while longer.
Now, whilst you've been playing Gran Turismo, I've also been playing Need for Speed, and obviously that's an arcade type racing game, and obviously coming down to a game such as Assetto Corsa, it proved a little bit difficult, but once I got used to it, it was fantastic. I mean, everything, like you said, was the visuals, the sounds, that's all the things I looked out for, and even the physics of the simulator was absolutely amazing. So, and well done, Assetto Corsa.
Now, obviously we've talked about this from Gran Turismo's perspective, we've taken it from a Need for Speed perspective. These are console games. Now, if you want to compare Assetto Corsa to what maybe it's trying to challenge, you might be looking at the PC simulations. Now, there's Project Cars, which is an upcoming release that was currently in a closed beta stage. Now, Project Cars beats Assetto Corsa when it comes to the visuals. There is really no comparison to any game when you compare it to Project Cars. The photorealism of Project Cars is amazing, but Assetto Corsa has done a very good job with its visuals. But more importantly, with the physics, Assetto Corsa has really got them spot on. These guys are the guys that made Netcom Pro, and their tire and physics models are world renowned. So, you know, we were expecting great things from Assetto Corsa, and we've got them. Comparing them to iRacing, I'd say that some of these cars in here are very, very comparable to iRacing. But the great thing is, they come at a fraction of the price.
Right, one thing about Assetto Corsa is because it's in this beta stage, they actually listen to what people are going to say, and you know, with track selections and you know what cars they're actually looking at feedback from racers and taking into account.
Yeah, I mean, with the community that's actually out there, the Nürburgring Nordschleife, which we mentioned earlier, is one of the tracks that they actually asked us, do you want us to take a laser scan of the following tracks? And they gave us a vote, and Nürburgring Nordschleife, being the Nordschleife, was the one that was voted the most for. So they said fine, okay, and they've gone out there and they've laser scanned this track, which is absolutely incredible, and I can't wait to try it when it comes out.
Thank you, Assetto Corsa.
Rating out of 10.
I'm going to give it an 8.5 because it's still in its beta stage, and I reckon there's a few more improvements that they could make, possibly going up to 9.5 once it's out.
I'd say a 9 because there's not many tracks so far at the moment, but that is because it's an alpha stage, and obviously they will be introducing more cars.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a lot more critical of a game, so I'm going to give this an 8, but once it's completed with the career mode, depending on how that pans out and what they actually do in the future, so the support that they provide, I might bump down to a 9. So overall, I think we're looking at 8.5 to 9 on the scale at the moment, which is really high score, possibly one of the highest scores that a racing simulator would have got. So, thank you very much for watching this video. Please leave a comment in the comment box below if you like this video, and subscribe to our channel. In the next video, we're going to be looking at the artificial intelligence, so we'll see you next episode.